Hello, Julie here and welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to be doing some page edges in my journal. I'm doing two journals, but today I'm just going to be working in one and then I'll do the page edges in the other journal off camera. So, right, now there's lots of different things you can do for your page edges and I'm just going to work through a few. There's heaps and heaps more. So let's start with this page here, and I've got some paper ruffles that they're just 1-inch strips of paper that I've folded and then I've stitched down the middle. If you don't like stitching, you can do the same thing with glue. So you just need to put a little bit of glue under each one of those folds and it will stick down. Now you can do that with, this is digital, but you can do it with pattern paper. You can do it, I've done some here with tissue. This is some Jim Holtz tissue, but you can use normal tissue. I've done that too. I've used sewing patterns, same sort of thing. And you can also do it with fabric. And I have used fabric ruffles in journals before. But today I'm going to stick with the paper ones. Now, mine are on white paper. I haven't printed on the back, but you can print on the back. So I've just run my ink, my blending tool over this with my vintage photo ink, and I'm going to just use it like that. So I'm just going to cut a piece that is about the length of my page. You don't need to do the full length of your page. You can do any length you like. So just let's do that. Now you can see that I've got bits of white here. I don't like that, so I'm going to just ink along the edges and hopefully that will dull that white down. If you're not an inker and you don't mind the edges, you don't need to. Or, as I said, print on double-sided paper, like do a double-sided print, and then you won't get the white showing through. Won't matter if a bit of it shows through, it's just as long as I sort of dull it down a bit and it's not hitting you right in the eye. Okay, so now there's a couple of ways you can do this too. You can attach it to the edge of the page so it butts up. You can overlap it a little, like so. You can attach it with glue, you can stitch it on, whatever you like to do. Now I'm just going to run a bead of glue down the edge of my page. And attach the ruffle so that it overhangs the page. I'm overhanging by that much, about 1/4 inch. I'm just going to push that down. Now you can also add other elements to this. You can embellish it. You know, you could put a fussy cut or something down here. You could put a label with a bit of a cheesecloth or something like that. Bit of lace. So there we go. So there's a ruffle on one page. As I said, lots of different types of ruffles you can make. Another thing we can do is, I've got one here. Now, I'm going to add a punched edge. Now, I've got a piece of digital that I have folded over. I've cut this 2 inches wide and I've folded in half, so I've got 1 inch. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because that way I get exactly a perfect match as far as the punching is concerned. So I'm going to just punch. If you haven't used these punches before, there are heaps of instructional videos on YouTube, but it's pretty simple. You just line up with the pattern here. You can see the silver shows through the holes on there. Make sure you've got it pushed up right against the edge there, and then press that handle down, then move along. You'll see that it punches to there. I always go one back from that, so I'm not missing any spaces. You can punch these and end up missing, gaps, but that doesn't matter because you can always go back and repunch. So long as you line your pattern up, you'll be right. And make sure you always got it pushed right up to the edge. You'll have all those little bits hanging around underneath. Good idea to get rid of those. They're like confetti, like glitter. They cling to everything. Okay, I'm going to ink the edges of this. It is now 2 separate pieces, but I'm just doing it as one because being, you know, a bit stiffer, it's easier to ink. These are printed on 120 GSM paper, so have got a bit of body to them. They're not as floppy as normal copier paper. Turn it over and do the other side. You can do this after you have attached it to your page. I'll probably do a touch up after I've attached it anyway. And once again, you can do these, you can attach these to your page with either glue or you can stitch them on. Now let's find a page to put this on. There, might put it on there, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, now see that it hasn't cut all the way through there, so I haven't had that pushed up perfectly to the fold, to the edge. Now I'm going to put that on there like that. Actually, they're going to go like that, aren't they? That's going to go that way and that's going to go, oh no. Alright, let's run a bead of glue down here. You can make this as wide or as narrow as you like. Now, as I said, this is 1 inch wide and it may be too wide for some. You know, you might want it wider or you might want it less wide. But I'm going to attach it on there so that all the holes are clear. Like so. Okay, then I'm going to turn it over and do the same with this one. Now I haven't tried this before, so hopefully they're going to match up fine. They may not, now that I think about it, because one might be inverted. But we can but try. I'm matching that up so that the holes line up. Okay. Now I can see that I need to put some glue out in these tips. So I'm going to just put a little dab of glue, run a bead of glue along this outer edge. You could actually join these two together before you add them to your page if you wanted to. You could do what I'm doing here now, join them at the top and then attach them to your page as one unit. That might work nicely. Okay, and where I cut that at the top there, get a bit white, so I'm going to put some ink on that. Okay, so there we have a punched edge on our page. Now if you wanted to, you could put a row of washi tape along there as well. I think that might look alright. Yes, I think I will. So I'm just going to run a bead of glue along here because I don't trust washi tape to stick permanently, that is. And then I'm going to put this on there. Straight as I can. Like so. So I may as well put some on this side as well. Really straight. A bit better. So as I said, I haven't really got any Christmas washi, but this gold washi tape will do the trick. And also, as I said, you don't have to add washi. You can just leave it with the punched edge. But I think the washi adds a little something. You could use ribbon as well if you wanted to. So there's our second page edge. Rightio, another one. We can use lace. Let's put it on this page here. I've got an assortment of laces here. Let's have a look at this one. And just add lace to that like so. And I think I will do that. Now I'm not going to cut it off. What I am going to do is get my art glitter glue because I know that that works well with fabric. And I'm going to run some glue along here. And then I'm going to take my lace and pop that down there like so. I think I might need a bit more glue than that, to be honest. Right, let's try again. There we go. I'm going to, I thought I had more than one page there. I'm going to take some clips and clip that into place. I'm going to try and make sure I've got it fairly straight. Which it's not at the moment. Right, now I can trim that off. You can trim it off level with the page, or you can leave some longer than the page, whatever suits you. I'm going to trim mine off level with the page. Like so. So that's that. Okay, so we've got lace on there. I'm just going to let that dry for a bit longer. And what else have we got? We've got page tabs. Now, I have got a little envelope here that I'm going to use for a page tab. So this can, let's put it on here. So you can put that on there like that, or you can put it anywhere on here, it doesn't have to be at the top. And then that opens out and you can put something in it. So I'm going to put glue on this, but not right to the edge. I'm going to leave about 1/2 inch. Glue the rest down solidly. Pop that on there. Hope you can see what I'm doing and I haven't got my head in the way. Okay. So that's one sort of tab, a little envelope, or you can use, you know, anything on there that you like. Another type of tab is, let's put a tab in this signature somewhere. How about here? There's two different sorts of tab punches I've got. There's this one here, which is a McGill, yeah, and it makes that shape of tab. Or this one here, which is a Vason Creative, and it makes the whale tail tab. So I'm going to use one of these on this one. So I have already cut it out and inked it up, all ready to go. Let's put that one down in the middle. So I'm just lining it up, hopefully. And really putting some pressure on that to make sure it's stuck nicely. Now once we've got that on there, we can add an eyelet. I'm just going to put my stopper in my art glitter glue. It's been behaving badly lately and oozing out everywhere. So I'll put my pin back in that. Go back to using my other glue. So now we have got that there. I'm going to put an eyelet in there and then hang a dangle from it. So I'm going to use my crocodile and make the hole. Sometimes, like now, that is still wet, so the crocodile didn't actually punch such a clean hole, but it's clean enough. And I'm going to add a gold eyelet. Now I think this is one of the bigger ones that I have, so I have to make that hole a little bit bigger, which can be a bit treacherous when you've got wet paper. There we go. And now I'm going to close that. I have to stand up to do that, I'm afraid. Put our Oh. There we go. Now I've got an assortment of, I thought I might use this. It's just a little ticket, and I've got a Christmas bell there and a red and gold paper bead that I made. So I'm just going to get a gold bulb pin. Who would think it would be so hard? And I'm just going to put all of those things on the gold pin. First I'm going to put that. Then I'm going to put the bead. Then I'm going to put the bell. Then I'm going to pop that through that eyelet. And do it up. I hope I can do it up. Actually, I think I need to go the other way with that. I am hopeless with these things. I can never get them to hang the right way, the way I want them to hang. So let's try this way. If there's a secret knack for getting your dangles to hang nicely, please leave me a comment and tell me what it is. So that's another thing. So we've got a tab there with a little, well, a big dangle actually, isn't it? Quite a big one. What else was I thinking of doing? That might be it, I think. Yeah, so that's, you could also, if you had a cluster, instead of using a tab, you could just put a cluster on. So you could make your cluster up and just attach to the page so it overhung, and that's another page decoration, page edge. Okay, so that's my video for today. So we've done a paper ruffle, which is here, paper ruffle. Then we did, well, another one is the tab. Then we did the punched paper edge. You can also just punch the edge of your page if you want to. You don't have to go the trouble of cutting a whole new piece, but I just thought it was nice because it actually hangs out then. Then we've got our lace, which would be dry now, I hope. And I think that might be it. I can't remember if we did anything further down into the book or not. Oh yes, we did our envelope tab. So we've got an envelope here that's also a tab. So on the back we've just got a normal tab, on the front we've got the little envelope. Actually, it might be a good idea to fasten that somehow before you, like, have a little policy closure or a brad. You could put a brad through there, but not much space left. So yeah, or you could put that in further so that the pages catch it better. Yeah, so that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope it's given you some ideas. I like to embellish the edges of my pages. It just makes it a bit more interesting when you're looking at your book. And yeah, you can see there I've got bits and pieces poking out all over the place. Got a little clip there. We've got tags up the top with all the ribbon, and we've got ribbon hanging out here. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you can join me when I post my next video. Okay, bye.